Hi everybody, Desmo here. In today's video, I'm going to share 6 farming strategies starting from cheap and easy early game to hard and juicy end game. The goal today is to help you find the proper strategy for your build, but also to give you a potential plan for your farming progression throughout any league, starting with a cheap and easy strategy and moving on to something more difficult and rewarding as your build becomes stronger. Most of these farming strategies remain unchanged from one league to another, and there is a good chance that they will still be viable in upcoming leagues. All Atlas passive trees will be linked in the description below, so you don't have to worry about anything, just get yourself comfortable and let's get into it. The first one on the list will be cluster farming strategy. I already made a video dedicated to this one, so I will go quickly over it. It is particularly good during the first few days of the league because cluster jewels are always scarce and necessary upgrades for most builds. It is great because it works with very low DPS since we are farming white maps for this strategy, as we want low item level on cluster for easier crafting, and it works on any type of build. You don't need any kind of big AoE, chain reaction or anything really. You will also generate some extra loot with Delirium and a few div drops. The goal is to get 5 daily reward bars, kill the boss and move on to the next map. Layout affects your loot, so you want a long layout for this strategy like strand maps for example. Second strategy on this list will be legend farming. This one is also really good early on because you'll get quite a lot of 6-link body armor, which sells extremely well for the first few days of the league, but you'll need to get to map quickly to take advantage of this. If your build is weak, you can still farm this on low tier maps, but you will earn a bit less that way. The biggest issue with this strategy is that, unlike previous one, it is not universal build-wise. You need a good AoE and some DPS to kill Legion officers in time, which is the big money maker here. For this strat, you will want to use 4 Legion Scarabs, 1 Legion Officer Scarab and Legion option on the map device. Third strategy is destructive play boss farming. This one will be the last one on this list meant for early days of the league. The goal is to summon extra bosses while witnessing map boss with Maven to generate a lot of Guardian and Conqueror maps, which are in short supply during the early days of the league. At the very start, you can run different types of maps to get the Maven invitation with 10 boss fights, or run a layout where the boss has multiple scripted phases like Belfry, Desert Spring or Silo as a few examples. That way, Maven is going to summon additional bosses at the start of the fight. You will make sure not to kill the natural map boss of your map, and then you will be able to run the same map over and over without completing the witness. Later on, if you have the DPS, you may want to run your Conqueror and Guardian maps to generate a lot of fragments. This is where the strategy becomes a gamble. You can even run your Elder fragments because the fight is extremely easy, and there is a 40% chance to drop a 2-mode Watcher's Eye, which often sells quite nicely. You can even choose to sell it unidentified for a few divines. This is another gamble and it's up to you. You can also mix this strategy with cluster farming because you need very few points on the Atlas for each of them. Now let's get into the proper endgame strategies. The first one will be the Strongbox Farming. This one is a great first endgame strategy because you don't need a very strong build to be able to tackle it, and it is extremely rewarding. The biggest issue with this strategy is the investment required for every single map, which is around 2 divines. That can be a deal breaker for many players, and this is where the next strategy really shines. For this strat, we use 1 of each Strongbox Scarab. But if containment is too expensive for you, you can swap it for 1 additional ambush Scarab. In any case, we use ambush option on the map device. The second to last strategy is Abyss Farming. As far as I know, it was created by Red Vials. He made a very useful spreadsheet, which will be linked in the video description. This is by far my favorite this league for a few reasons. It is ridiculously rewarding, with a minimum of 20 to 30 divines per hour and up to 50 if you're fast with the good build. It's extremely cheap, you can sustain your own scarabs and maps easily, there is no complex mechanics or need to trade on TFT, and it is relatively accessible for many builds. However, you will still need a decent DPS and tankiness here. The only downside is that it is more suitable for caster builds because you will likely want the caster mastery to automatically open chests to run this strat. Otherwise, you'll go crazy clicking every single Abyss chest, and we are talking about over 100 per map. Here we are using 2 Abyss Scarab, 1 Edifice and 2 Risk, along with the Abyss option on the map device. And for the last strategy, the Exile Strat is still king in the very end game. Once the economy crashes after a couple of weeks, which is happening right now in 3.26, with mirrors getting over 600 divs and divines at 240 chaos on the currency exchange, most drops become meaningless. This is where people are going to go for really expensive loot only. And this is what Exile Farm is meant for. You will be chasing tier 0 uniques, some good currency and scarabs. This is the pinnacle of strategy farming, and you will need an extremely powerful build to be able not only to clear your maps, but also to do it efficiently. Here, we are using 1 Anarchy Scarab, 2 Anarchy of Gigantification, or 1 and 1 Wisp, and 1 Titanic Scarab of Legend. Top that with the Anarchy option on the map device. One additional advice that I want to give for the video is to scry your map. For the people who don't know, scrying maps is basically transferring the cards that you can drop from one map to another. To do that, you need to farm a map. Usually it takes from 40 to 50 maps on average to find the Nameless Seer. The Nameless Seer is an NPC that will drop randomly on the map once you kill the last pack of one type of mob. Once you find the Seer, he's gonna offer you to pick up a random unique item, and he's gonna offer the option to scry a map. What you should do this league, I highly recommend that, is to scry Ivory Temple. Why Ivory Temple? You could say Mage Blood is expensive, it's better to go for the Apothecary. The thing is, Apothecary is extremely rare and it is very likely that you will never drop the card. However, with the Ivory Temple, we have 2 cards that are expensive. The first one is the Sephiroth, which drops quite a lot. So far I did drop over 30 to 40 of them, I don't even know. The other expensive one is Icy Brother, and this is a 2-set cards which gives you 2 Fracturing Orb. Fracturing Orb, if you sell 2 of them, this is 9 Divines at the moment. It's a bit more rare, but you will drop 1 or 2 for sure at some point, and this is really good money. So definitely go for that map. It's a bit annoying to farm the Seer. Try to buy like 20 or 40 Ivory Temple. You can also favorite this map to have a good amount of them, and then start farming the Seer. It's gonna take some time, maybe a couple hours, but it's gonna be absolutely worth it in the end. Before ending the video, I'm gonna quickly show you every passive skill tree for each strategy, just for the people who don't want to follow the link in the description and who prefer to watch it on the video. So this is going to be the cluster farming strategy. This one is going to be the boss farming strategy, with the very important keystone here, destructive play. If you don't have enough points to complete the entire Atlas kill tree, make sure to grab this point and this one here. This is the nodes that are going to get you so much more Guardian, Conqueror and Synthesis map. This one is the Legion tree. This tree will be for Strongbox Farming. This one is going to be for Abyss Farming. And the last tree is going to be for Exile Farming. To conclude this video, I would like to add that if you're still unsure which strategy fits your build, or if you don't know whether you will be able to handle the most difficult strat, try the previous easier first. If it feels really smooth and easy, maybe you're ready for the next one. You can also check your EHP and DPS with PoB and ask the community on Reddit, for instance, if people think you'll be okay with your build for whatever content you're planning to farm. And this is it for today's video. If you have any question or strat to add to this list, let us know in the comments. Please like, share and subscribe, this is helping the channel so much. And until my next video, take care of yourself and bye!
Last night I had a dream, dropped the mirror on stream. Oh my god, what's so clean? Best thing I've ever seen.